really bad depressive phase. Hi, the day I'm filming this video is the new year. Happy New Year, but this video is going to be a lot deeper in the sense I'm going to let out a lot of my inner thoughts. Currently, I'm going through a really bad depressive phase. I'm not really sure that what instigated the depression. We will be about it in depth later in the video, but let's talk about the reading updates. So I have decided to read this book. This is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Now I'm not very sure if I did the right thing by choosing this book to read when I'm so depressed, because it said that she wrote it about herself, and Sylvia Plath is known as suicidal author, suicidal artist, because she was always suicidal and she wrote depressive stuff. But I'm hoping to see a lot of insights of depression, what it feels like to be in the shoes of an author and to see depression from where she stood. It is semi-autobiographical. It's fiction, but it's based on her story somehow. The main character of the story is about her age and works in a beauty fashion company somewhere, and it's about her life. Sylvia Plath is an author that killed herself. She died really young, 29 or 30 years of age. And also I did heavy research on her. So this is something that I found from researching a lot, and it says Sylvia had prepared bread and milk for the children and placed it near their beds. She opened their windows, sealed off the room with masking tape so the gas wouldn't reach them. So she made sure that her kids are safe, and then she died. So I found some insights by other people, and they said the only way she could find was to act out the awful little allegory once over. Had always been a bit of gambler, used to taking risks. Finally, Sylvia took that risk. She wrote a lot of poems about death in her last days, and it is said that she wrote her best when she was in depression, when she was suicidal. So she wrote all of that and in the end enacted all of that. In the end, the way she could get rid of the death as a concept from her life was to end her own life, and that's what she did. I think I would understand depression better if I read something from Sylvia Plath. There's a collection of poems by her called Ariel. I have that book as well. Most of the poems are depressive and about death. I will let you know the updates of this book throughout this vlog. This vlog is also kind of a video diary where I'm going to process my depression, and I've planned out a lot of other things, and I hope that all of it works out. So it's New Year today, and in just 5 minutes I'm going to call my friend Tisha and kind of have a New Year thing there. I have got myself a pastry, and yeah, we're gonna talk a bit and then celebrate New Year together for old time's sake. We met last year in December, and we have grown really close along the time. So even after we are away from each other, we still want to be each other's life's part in small ways. Time for the people you love is something we both cherish. So let's set up for the video call. So they let you out?
Yeah, today is New Year now, so they let us.
Let's have some cake. Can you see the cake?
Yeah, I can. It's so yummy, yaar. Okay, let's see my cake.
Ah, I can. Hi. So let's begin with the update of the book that I'm reading. That is Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Um, I have given some of the introduction about Sylvia Plath already. Just ignore the mess behind. I am done with like 6 chapters already, and I can see the hints of depression and loneliness in the protagonist. Her name is Esther. She works in some cosmetic and fashion company and lives in this girl's dormitory and has like a bit of difficulty with socializing, and she does not realize that what kind of people she should be with and what kind of people she should ignore. She just cannot get hold of this life in New York where everything is so very fast, and you have to be like with trend, like parties, clubs at night, whatever. The fact that this book has been written in 1960s, it makes it so relevant to today's day as well. I can just see that this is like a stream of consciousness that has been pelled down in the form of a novel, as this a book is already semi autobiographical, which means some instances, or even if not directly, is linked to Sylvia Plath herself. Though I am just 6 chapters done, I can see what could have led to further descent into depression. Or there are so many things that I can actually relate to. I am someone, I don't feel loneliness because I am a loner. I like my time, and I just absolutely adore solitude. So loneliness is something that I don't experience much. Also, as it's like an update to you, I'm watching a K drama currently. That is called When the Weather is Fine. I'm absolutely loving this drama because it's like my kind of drama where it's like bookstore, winter, snow, book clubs, warm people, and not much of a drama happening, no villain or something. People are themselves their own villains. And it's like the most realistic drama I have seen till this far. Like, it's not at all exaggerated, it's just so, so, so human. So, I'm just loving it. So, I'm enjoying this drama.
Book, and I'm like, what should I read next? I kind of go to that list to kind of give me inspiration. And then I also made a little weekly planner to see what I have to do. Another thing that I did today is how do you say that? I propagated to and spend a little more time with each book. Basically, I'm now, I think, about a third into If We Were Villains by Amal Rio. I'm really enjoying it. Shakespeare plays. I'm kind of people who really like Shakespeare. It's slowly getting darker.
Hi. So the sun barely came out, and like it's really chilly today. So let's jump on the topic. I was reading this book, Peljar, and her health has deteriorated. The hints of depression have finally turned into proper depression. She cannot read, eat, or sleep. She has not slept for 7 days when she approaches the doctor for the first time. And the doctor does not help her in any way. The conversation between her and doctor is something that it's like nothing happened, and I just could not understand what kind of doctor is what is he supposed to do, just sit there, and I did not understand. Also, this book talked about few more themes such as misogyny, treatment towards women, and also rape culture in 1950s and 1960s. That scene was like just something that I just could not take in, just could not digest, like what just happened. And the reaction of our protagonist was something I could not just take in, because it was something that seemed normal to her, like that kind of thing that just happens. Also, one more thing that I read in here, let me tell you that. So the situation is that she's visiting the psychiatrist, right? So he recommends shock therapy, and she goes for shock therapy. And then when they came back, she tells her mother that she doesn't want to do it anymore, and tell the doctor that I'm not going to go there anymore. So this is what her mother said to her. My mother smiled. I knew my baby wasn't like that. I looked at her like, what? Like those awful people. Awful means those mentally ill people, those awful dead people at that hospital. She paused. I knew you would decide to be alright again. So basically, you can just decide that you're not mentally ill anymore, you're not depressed, you're not anxious, you're not nervously breaking down. You just decide it one day and you'll be fine. So I cannot judge it because it's the mother of 1950s and 1960s talking, because you cannot expect it from today's mothers as well. They take it in the same way, especially Indian people. They do not take mental health that seriously. I think that you can just decide, you can just do a little bit of exercise, eat good food, sleep for 8 hours, and then you'll be fine. No, it does not work like that. And again, I was reading another book called The Yellow Wallpaper, and the thematic aspect of that book is quite similar to that, because it is about depression and mental breakdown. That is like, you read that and you're like, what the hell is happening? Because it's about a woman who is going through postpartum depression, which is a depression a mother goes through after she has given birth. The factors are many, like the trigger points are many. She tells her husband that I'm feeling this and that way. He takes her to a place and rents that place and live there for like holidays or something, and she's not feeling well yet, and she definitely needs medical assistance, but he says that I'm a physician, so you don't need any medical assistance. She needs a brain doctor, a psychiatrist, but he does not agree to that. So they stay in a room which has an awful yellow wallpaper, and it has many structures and patterns on itself that looks like a woman to her, and she is anxious because of that. She does not like the yellow wallpaper, but the husband does not understand, and love it or hate it, that yellow wallpaper is all that she has in that whole holiday home, because she is not allowed to work or walk out or visit anyone. So she spends her time with that yellow wallpaper, and we slowly see her descend into lunacy. I was like shocked at the end sentence. Nobody took her seriously, and initially she hated that yellow wallpaper, then she befriended it, and then she became it. You won't know what I mean unless and until you read it. It's a really short book, 18 pages, and it just shook me to core, like how dismissal of serious things like this can lead into so much serious.
네가 언젠간 이곳을 떠날 거라는 걸 이해해.
To cut down on my K-drama. I'm going to come clear why. So K-drama is a source of happiness for me, okay? So unless and until I'm watching a K-drama, I'm fine, and once I'm done with the K-drama, I'm suddenly very, very sad. Like these few days, I'm very, very sad. And it's like a really vicious cycle, because I'm again and again looking for new K-dramas to watch, and especially the K-dramas which are fluffy in nature, in the sense like happy and all of that. Nowadays, I don't even want sad stuff in the drama itself. Earlier I used to watch sad stuff, but if it's a happy ending then I'm fine with it. But now I cannot. Like, I'm looking for a lot of happy dramas, and it's like a really vicious cycle, and if I can't find a drama, I feel so sad. It's just a source of entertainment, it should be that only, but it has become something that I live by now. It makes me so anxious and so nervous when I don't find a K-drama, or the K-drama is not going the way I really want it to be. I just feel a nervous breakdown in myself, so that's why I'm cutting down on K-dramas. It's not addiction. I know my depression is doing this to me because I am very controlled in my K-dramas, because I watch 1 or 2 episodes per day, and when I'm super busy I don't even watch in a day. I'm doing this to distract myself. The need to feel happy from some exterior source, it's not done. I should feel happy from within, and I'm not feeling that. That's why I'm looking for the happiness in those K-dramas, which is absolutely wrong thing. I mean, cut down K-drama watchings. Yeah, I've got 50 more pages left, and everything is so messy. Hi. So I finished reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I would limit them to myself because it was a really personal journey for me. As I said, I was in really bad phase of depression, and I'm not saying that I'm done with it. I like hints of the depression are still there. But what I gathered from this book is that if you are in a really bad phase, medical assistance is something that really helps. I have never ever thought that so much of deep psychology goes in there. So like, she was suicidal. She attempted suicide for like 4 times, and she was suspicious of every single person, every single activity that happens around her. She tries to find out the reason behind it. Like, she thinks that nobody does anything without a reason, without ulterior benefit. Even when the doctors were treating her, she was not sure that she was being treated for her own good, but doctors were gaining something from it. And she was fine. She wasn't mentally unstable. She is someone who could not say no to anybody, and that I relate to it because I cannot say no for favors that I don't want to do. I do them anyway. Yeah, as I said, even if she is fine, she takes lunacy as an excuse that I'm considered crazy, so maybe I can do this and nobody would judge me. She thinks like that. So these are some of the things that I gathered from this book as her character traits from this girl. And as in depression, where I stand today is that I certainly understand depression and psychology behind it better today. At this point, when I've finished this book, I understand how mind works, and I'm really glad that I read this book while I was in depression, because any other time I wouldn't have understood it this better, this good, because as I was in depression, I could relate so well with it. You must have seen already the crying clips of me. I was like really embarrassed to put them in this video, but I thought no, I have to. I have many clips like this, but I decided only to put one. Also very embarrassing to keep the camera on when you feel like crying. I was reading and I suddenly started crying and didn't turn the camera off. There were so many incidents like this, but I just put this clip to show that my mental health was really bad and I was struggling. But anyway, this book helped me. Reading about psychology, lunacy, helped me a lot, and I hope you liked this video.